I go by Digital Crates. I'm representing for HipHopSince1987.com. We champion all things hip hop, anything in the culture that's relevant to the elements of hip hop. And one of the things right now that we are really, really excited about is the Red Bull Batalla event coming up 2021. And we got right now on the line my guy Boss, straight out of the West Coast, man. What's good with you, man?
Yeah, yeah. Hey, what's up? Boss One representing 747 San Fernando Valley in LA. You already
Yeah,
know.
SFV, man. That's what's up. LA is so rich in hip hop culture. All the way back to the days of NWA, all the way up to now, with the Shoreline movement and everything that's going on is just so crazy, man. LA is like such a hotbed for music, and the battle culture, freestyling is really more, I guess, technically an East Coast thing. But you really bring something different to the table, man. Your style is very representative of the Southland. You're a fierce competitor, but you got a laid back flow. The way you attack some of these guys is calm. You're like a calm killer in this competition. We did a roundtable a couple of weeks ago. We talked about how it's not just about Red Bull Batalla. The entire freestyle movement and the freestyle battle movement is so big right now. And you're definitely one of those that's got your foot in the door at the ground floor. I'm tapped into what you got going on. I think you're wild in these battles. I really love it.
Oh,
But
shit.
but for the people that don't know you yet, maybe you could just tell them your name and where you're from, a little bit more about how you got your start doing music too.
Yes, sir. So my name's Davis Lopez. I go by Boss One, and my whole origins in freestyle started in Santa Maria Huatulco, Oaxaca. So that's south of Mexico, all the way down. I began freestyle rapping at the age of around 13 years old. Um, but I also like got into hip hop around 11, 12. I would mainly do graffiti. That's how I kind of got into hip hop in general. And I got into rap and hip hop music thanks to my brother. Because when he was out here, he used to listen to a lot of like Chicano rap. So he would listen to like Little Rob and whatnot. And all of his CDs got passed on to me, and he became a dad or whatever. He like passed them down to me. I would hear them. I would go out and paint. And at one point, like, I remember seeing on TV two guys freestyle battle. Like, they were just battle rapping each other. It was more to create a reaction of the crowd watching on the studio or whatever. But I was like, damn, like there's people that can actually like improvise on the spot like that. Like I thought it was only written.
Mm.
So I kind of dug a little bit deeper, found a little bit of more about the culture, and started to do my own freestyles. And eventually, freestyle rapped in Oaxaca and whatnot. Came here to Los Angeles, California when I was around 16. Met La Liga de la Calle when I was 17. So in 1 year of continuous freestyle battle rapping with other of my homies, we became part of one of the first freestyle leagues aquí in Los Angeles for Spanish freestyle.
So you mentioned that you kind of got your start with graffiti. Is that where the boss name came from? Like, was that your tag? Like, where did the name come
Yeah,
from?
yeah. So the story of the name is kind of funny. I had it was more of my dad's friend. Since my name's Davis and his brother was named David, he would
Mm.
call his brother Vido, kind of like a name flip, right? So David Vido. So Vido became also my nickname because I was like the smaller version. So he would call me Vidito. So whenever I would go paint, I would write Vido. But where I used to live, it was like such a small town that didn't really have anything of graffiti or whatnot. It was quick to get your name pinned to something. So whenever I would write Vido, the whole purpose was to not write your actual name and not get caught, right? I
Hmm.
wasn't gonna go around writing my actual name.
Hmm.
But it kind of felt that way after writing Vido for a while because everybody started to call me Vido. So I
Mm.
was like, although I like the name, I was like, I don't know if I really want to be, I don't want to get caught up like this, especially in a
Yeah.
small town where everybody knows each other. So I would go out and paint with this sweater I had and it said boss on it. So I thought about it as like how Superman or Batman have their logo on their chest. I was like, well, if I take this sweater every day, might as well call me boss because I got it on my chest, right? And eventually the name took a name of its own in battle rap.
Yeah,
Oh yeah.
absolutely. And you're definitely bossing up on the competition right now. Like I said, you got a laid back flow. It's very West Coast, but it's unique. Your voice is definitely a unique style. For people who haven't heard you, maybe you could describe your music, describe your way of freestyling, and also maybe your art as well.
Definitely. So I'd like to consider myself a MC that's kind of focused on the punchline. Punchline is like everything for me. But lately I've been experimenting when it comes to flows, when it comes to structure, when it comes to like the actual way of me trying to lay down every line on my verses. Whenever I'm throwing a freestyle, I like them to have like a sense of order, but at the same time, I have like this vision of a gentle giant, you know? So that's where my laid back type of vibe comes from. Not to mention that West Coast sound is very catchy, it's very
Yeah.
funky. So whenever you rap on the G Funk beat, it kind of kicks your flow a little bit back. So I'm already used to freestyling on G Funk beats. So whenever an actual battle beat comes on, my style kind of already becomes part of it because I'm kicking it in a different way. But punchlines is like my main focus. So I would describe myself or my style of freestyle rapping as a direct hit with a
Mhm.
little bit of a laid back or like yeah, like a gentle giant, if you will, you know.
Yeah. Freestyling, it's like there's a lot of comedic elements in the
Mhm.
battle, and a lot of it is like the setup and then the punchline. And definitely, like now, I kind of understand more about where your flow comes from. It's really about getting them punches in. I notice when you battle, a lot of times I've seen videos of you wearing like Los Angeles sports teams and stuff like that. How important is it for you to represent for the soil out there?
Man, you know, when I was, because I'm born here, I'm born in Los Angeles, but I was raised in Oaxaca. So being from LA, coming from like I saw most of the movement or most of what people would describe as LA vibes, I guess, when my brother was in high school, you know. So my brother was khakis, Dickies, fitted hats type of guy. So every time he would pull up to the house, he had like Cortezes on, he had his
Hmm.
Dickies on. My brother is the only person I actually saw like iron his clothes.
Yeah.
And after him, like wherever I would go, nobody else did it. So I kind of got the vibe from him. But like you know, being a younger brother, you always want to be like your older brother. So you're
Yeah.
always gonna look up to him. And my brother to me was the representation of a Latino living in Los Angeles.
Mm.
So I always told my mom like when I lived in Mexico, my whole thing was I didn't want to be away from my brother. So I would like tell her like I want to go back to see my brother. And when I got the chance to do it, like around 16, 17, I actually came and lived with my brother. To my surprise, he didn't dress like that anymore. He was more on the, you know, like he was already a father of three by then.
Mm.
So he would dip all the Dickie shirts, all the pro clubs, all that. He dipped it out the window. Um, so like after seeing that, I was like, damn, like I want to go back to those moments where I had him in my mind when he was younger, you know? So my style became a reflection of that. When it came to the way I dressed in high school, when it came to the way I saw the hip hop movement in general in Los Angeles, because I would go to like a battle cipher and everybody would be wearing like tight jeans, like a jacket or whatever. And I would never like diss a style, right? But it was just not me. I couldn't rock that, you know. Like
Yeah.
I could
Yeah.
try, but I couldn't rock it. I wouldn't pull it off. So I was like, I gotta do me. I gotta do what actually makes me happy. And dressing that way was it. So whenever it came to battle rap, I would pull up with LA gear. I would
Yeah.
pull up with an LA hat. I'll usually rep it when I'm out of town. When I'm in town, I'll try to keep it a little bit more general because I'm
Mhm.
already in LA.
Yeah.
But I'll rock like blue colors, black colors, maybe a Lakers jersey. But when I'm out, I definitely have to have something that screams LA. And to a lot of people out there, you know, like for example, in Texas, you're not gonna find a lot of people with fitted hats with LA on it. You're not gonna find a lot of people that dress the way we dress out here.
Yeah.
So I take like the style of my clothing to my freestyle, and that you know translates
Yeah.
into my battle rap.
Yeah, your whole style definitely, and being from the West Coast, you definitely stand out in this competition and out of this group of competitors. But in your voice, what would you say separates you from other artists coming out of the freestyle scene right now?
In general, I would guess my school, the way that I learned how to freestyle. Most of the competitors right now are pretty young. Not to mention like a couple of OGs that are coming back to battle rap. They have their own way of they have their own backstory. They have their own origins. And most of them have to be with like when freestyle rap was seen as this like negative outlook for kids, you know? People would say, "Oh, I freestyle," and everybody would look down on you. So that's where they come from. The newer generations come from, "Oh, you battle rap? Oh, no way, let me see." Because now battle rap became a little bit of more mainstream, but it toned down a lot. You know, like I said, I would go to a park and I would not see a bunch of like people like with their heads shaved battle rap. You will see a bunch of kids battle rap. So just to like have that sense, I guess, my school separates me from them because I don't come from the same generation. I come from a generation where you had to earn your keep when it came to the ciphers. Especially in my town when we started became like we started to get a little name on when it came to graffiti and writing music generally. I always like to think that I didn't get into freestyle because I just saw freestyle. I kind of got into rap first and wanted to be a rapper before freestyle.
Yeah.
So my whole thing was I don't want to be a freestyle. I want to be a rapper. And then eventually I saw freestyle as a way to become a good rapper, you know?
Yeah.
So that's where I come from. Other kids just see freestyle as that freestyle. So I think that's what separates me, you know? Like I have a little bit more meaning into it when it comes to my performances.
Now, how do you balance all that between art and making music and freestyling? Like what do you think right now in your life is the most important, and how do you maintain that kind of balance and doing a little bit of it all?
Well, when it comes to, I know multitasking, a lot of people say, no, multitasking is like great when it comes to things like this or whatever. Even when it comes to like chores, you know, but I've always think it's kind of the opposite effect. So when I have to decide between those three, I would just generally focus on one and lay back on the other two for a little bit. I don't like to go away too long because I feel I lose it.
Yeah.
So there will be like times where I'll get like 2 months to just freestyle rap. I'll go out to the ciphers, I'll go out in battle, I'll go out on nationals and just freestyle rap. And I'll be at home doing like little exercises, like memory exercises.
Yeah.
I'll be doing like breathing exercises. I'll be reading. But then I'll go into like this period of like 2 or 3 months as well, where I would do nothing but write music. And I think it's pretty dope because people generally know me for freestyle rap, but I have a lot of stuff written down that people don't really know because I don't really put it out like that. But I plan to soon, you know, like the whole goal is to like create a name for myself in freestyle and battle rap and eventually use that as a way to express my music, you know, have people
Yeah.
see what goes on behind Batalla.
Absolutely. And for a big event like Batalla and any other cipher or local rap battle, how do you prepare? What's the process of like getting ready to compete?
Man, it's a long process. I had a judge tell me this last year because he asked me sort of the same thing, right? He came to a bunch of us that were just sitting down outside the hotel waiting to like take some photos for the event. And he came out and he started to talk to us and he told us something along the lines of, "What did you guys do to prepare for this moment?" And some of them were like, "Oh, nah." Like once I got the email, I went straight into my exercises. I started to read a lot. I started to rap on different type of formats. I started to use words every 10 seconds or whatever. Other guys were like, "No, I put in like 30 different beats a day and I would start going after them and whatnot." And he asked me and I was like I freestyle occasionally at work. That's what I told him. I was like, I was at work and if I got the 5 minutes on me, I'll use them on freestyle. And he looked me dead in my face and told me, "You ain't gonna win."
Wow.
And I was like, damn, like, is it really that bad? And he's like, "You're not gonna win because you're not putting the effort, you're not putting the work into it before this." So I thought about it and I'm like, you're right. Like nobody that doesn't put in the work is never gonna win. I mean, Kobe talks about this all the time. He wouldn't even pass the ball to other players who didn't put the work in.
Right.
And I thought about it and I was like, so my prediction has to be fixed. And he told me, after you lose tonight, he's like, your preparation starts as you get off that stage.
Right.
Like, you better be ready for next year as soon as you leave that stage. So ever since, I've been like, I've had that in the back of my mind whenever I come to like lose motivation, when I'm like, nah, I don't want to freestyle rapper, and like, I just want to kick back. Like, I'll keep that in the back of my head, and I'll grab a book. What I've been doing also lately was like, I'll put in a 5 fingers of death where the beat switches. So I'll throw that in, and I'll just try to catch it on beat every single time to make sure I don't drop the beat. I'll also play with different words. Not too long ago, I began to like actually freestyle in the street when I'm like on the bus or whatever.
Yeah.
I'll go out and start making verses out of whatever I see on the bus or whatnot. I usually would do it on the notebook, but now I'm like doing it off my head on the bus. And mental preparation when it comes to an event like this is meditating a lot. You got to clear your head, because even if there is nobody physically watching you, you know that there's more than 20,000 people online watching that.
Crazy.
So out of those people there's going to be people who don't like you. There's going to be people who doubt you. There's going to be people who love you. But you got to please all three of those if you're going to do it right, you know? So you better go up there and make sure you're going to prove some of them wrong, and some of them are going to just turn into fans, you know, after that. So that's the goal.
So what keeps you motivated? You've been doing this for a little while now. What keeps you motivated to keep getting better and to show and improving?
Oh, man, I talked to one of my homies about this yesterday. We both came to the conclusion that after doing it for a while, you fall in like una especie de limbo. You fall into that one place where you really can't go forward or back because you've done it so long, but you lose that essence you had in the beginning. That hunger is a little bit less. So me personally, I had to switch my why. So when I started, it was to prove that I was a good freestyle rapper. Now I know I'm a good freestyle rapper. I've proven it a couple of times. So now I changed my why. My why is to take it as far as I can. Like, just leave a mark in the kids that are going up right now. I don't want them to see me as an MC that had a peak and fell off. I want them to see me as the image of persistence. Even when you have no more motive, you want to keep going. So that's what I want to be for other kids that see me battle rap when it comes to like locally, like in LA. So that's my new why. That's what keeps me motivated. Like, I got to keep the culture going.
And the battles, you know, they're all a little bit different. Some of them are over a beat. Some of them has got somebody beatboxing. Sometimes it's just a cappella. What's your favorite mode of battle?
Man, I can do all three. A cappella, what I like about them is that like you can extend your verses. Your verses don't stay capsulated in like a 10-second time rate. So you can just freestyle for like 15 seconds and people will still like catch a reaction out of it. When it comes to beatbox, I love that because it takes me back to like 90s. Like, I was born in 1999. I didn't live it the way that I wanted to, but I'm able to go back to like where I wanted to if I were to become, you know, like a freestyle rapper. And then beatboxing just takes you back to the street. It's a little bit more raw. You got to take in mind that the beat's going to end because this guy doesn't have air forever. So you want to spit the most important things you got on at that moment. And when it's on the beat, I like to like just remark my flow. Like you said, like my flow is very West Coast. So whenever it comes to like freestyling on beats, I want to just make people know where I'm from just off the top hearing me. So that's like, but if I were to choose one out of those three, I would say definitely on beat. I play around with it more.
Yeah, you're definitely making your mark. This big battle with Red Bull is coming up in a couple weeks. But what's coming up after that? Like, what's next throughout the end of the year between now and the holidays?
I got a couple of more events where I'm gonna be. I've done a couple of callings to do written battles, like written rap battles. I don't know if I'm gonna take them yet, but I'm definitely looking into them. I don't want to stay just in one spot forever. So I got music. I got those written battles, and towards December, I think I'm gonna take a small break just to visit family. But after that, just know that like my determination is different because right now my whole focus is on either you win it or you win it. And if I don't win it, like I'm gonna tear up every single plaza there is in USA, you know. I'm not gonna stay in Los Angeles too long and let everybody else get their shine in other plazas. I'm gonna go steal that, you know.
And like further down the line in the next couple of years, where do you see all your, time that you put into this? Where do you see it taking you?
Man, like I've had a vision of me in Spain, and I'm hoping that everything I do takes me there for some reason. Like I just
Yeah.
want to be there for some reason. I feel I'm gonna find something important there. But when it comes to like freestyle rap, I wanna like visit as much places as possible outside of the United States.
Mm.
A lot of people when I was younger used to tell my mom like, nah, he's just gonna go to United States and back or whatever. You know, they didn't really have faith in me traveling because I come from parents that work too hard to even travel. You know, even in their own city, they can't travel that much because they're hardworking people.
Yeah.
Like I just want to be able to like visit or just create something that is sustainable enough for me to give that to my parents.
Yeah.
So if I can visit and like show them what's out there, that's great for me. But I definitely want to create something sustainable off freestyle.
A lot of the fans of our website are young artists, young producers, young DJs, people that are trying to get into the culture. What's some advice you could give to them to get to the point you're at in the freestyle game?
Definitely be persistent and constant. You don't want to take time off. Not to say it's bad to take a break, but just remember it's all about repetition. The more you do something, the better you're gonna get at it.
Mm.
So there's a lot of people, especially young people, that will lose faith in themselves after doing it a couple of times because they don't think they're good enough. I would just tell them to be persistent and constant. Two, don't really listen to people outside telling you that you're doing it bad unless it's people that are doing the same thing you are doing. There's a lot of people who will talk that don't see future in what you're doing. They're saying it out of a place of them not being able to complete their own dreams.
Mm.
So you don't have to let that rub off on you. I had a lot of people, even family members, tell me like, "This is not you. Like, drop that mic and just shut up," you know. And I didn't do it, and now they're out here like congratulating me every time I win an event.
Yeah.
So even then, you know, like you think about it, you gotta be a little bit of not an a-hole, but like let your ego come inside and clog your ears because you can't let those people get in your head, you know. And three would be find your why, because your
Mm.
why is the reason you're gonna go like long. Why is
Yeah.
longevity when it comes to things like this. So find your why. If it's not strong enough, switch it for something stronger and keep going. And when it runs out, switch your why again.
Okay. And this is a hip hop website. So before we wrap up, I don't know if you have any shout outs, any people you want to say what's up to. The floor is yours.
Oh yeah, for sure, for sure. So shout out to La Liga de la Calle. That's the first battle league aquí in Los Angeles, California. Shout out to Del Alma Live, which is a producer and the guy that turns tables when it comes to us freestyling at the park. Shout out to the people in Echo Park that saw us grow from when we were just high school kids to now. And yeah, shout out to all La Ligas outside of LA. Shout out to Red Bull. Shout out to all those kids that are out there trying to grind on this scene as well. And I hope everybody has a great day, you know.
Yeah. Do you have any other last words besides that?
Nah, that's it. And take care because if I don't win this, it's gonna be bad for all y'all.
Yeah. And real quick, maybe you could tell the people where they could follow you.
Oh yeah, most definitely. I'm on Instagram as Boss MTC, or you can also find me on YouTube as well, Boss MTC. My battles are on YouTube. Some of my music is on that channel. And yeah, Instagram is where I post most of my stuff. So yeah, you can go find me there.
All right. Well, boss man, salute to you. Thank you so much for taking the
Appreciate it.
time today, and good luck with the battle coming up and with everything through the end of the year, man.
I appreciate it, man. Thank you. Thanks for all the love and thanks for having me here.
All right, respect. Have a good one.
Thank you. Take care.